All right, so now we're ready to reconcile our first month's checking account, checking statement. So that's the last thing that is written here on the bottom of your instructions page. It says that you need to, on January 31st, you need to reconcile your account statement for the month of January. And it says a tip that your checkbook balance should be $350.24 at the end of completing everything from the January transaction. So I'm going to show you my checkbook register completely filled out so that you can then check yours against it and make sure that you didn't make any errors to this point. It's very important that you have everything exactly like mine to this point before moving on to the reconciliation. And I did realize that whenever I was showing you how to fill out the checkbook register, that I skipped this check right here and moved on to a debit transaction, and I didn't account for that check whenever I was showing you how to update the total. So hopefully if you were confused by that, that you fixed it, and at this point you need to go back and fix anything that's not the same as mine. Pause this video and check it as you so that you can make sure to move forward with this. Now, it might also be helpful if you are using a student computer in the library at this point, in addition to your Chromebook, so that you have multiple screens to be able to watch my video and do the things that you need to do on your January register document. Okay, so we're done with the checks for now. We are going to move down to the bottom half of the January register where it says account reconciliation. And let me just go over what this is, and then we're going to do it together. All right, so what you're seeing over here to the right is a copy of what your account statement might look like. They're going to either print this out for you and mail it to you at your house, or more commonly now, you'll receive it in an email. So it's important to actually reconcile your checkbook every month just to make sure that you haven't missed any transactions, or if you haven't accounted for like a fee that the bank may have charged or something like that. And therefore you can be really confident that you know exactly how much money is still in your account available for use, and you don't overdraw. On the left here, we have the account reconciliation steps. This is typically printed on the back of a checkbook account or a checking account statement if you receive it in print. But if you don't, you will just have to remember that these are the steps. And you can Google it if you want to. I mean, it's easy to find how to balance your checkbook, okay? So the first thing it's asking for is the ending balance on the statement. It wants to know not what's the ending balance right now in your checkbook, but what's the ending balance on this statement. So you can find that here under the account summary. The ending balance is $440.99. So first you are going to create a text box there, 440. Whoa, that didn't work out for me. Space is what I meant to do. I'm going to line it up right. And then the second, deposits not in statement. So we're not looking currently at the deposits that are listed on the statement, but we want to know, are there any deposits that have come into our checking account after this statement was printed? Notice it was printed on the 31st. Maybe we deposited something on the 31st or the day after, and it's not going to show up on this statement. So what I would suggest doing is go back to your checkbook register and put a little check mark, which we're going to go this one. And I do not want it that big. I'm going to make it smaller, and red is fine. I'm going to go back and look and see if all of the things that are listed on my account statement here and here are in my checkbook already. So first I'm looking for a deposit of $717.20 from January 3rd. I see it here, and that's what this little column right here is for. I can put a little check mark right there. And then I'm also going to check it here just to make sure that I know where I've left off and I know that I've accounted for every single thing that's listed on the account statement. So the next thing is a check for one or check number 101 for 3524. I see check number 101, it is for 3524. So I put a check mark there and a check mark here. And then the next one is check number 103 for 4180. 103, 4180. And this is just to make sure also, did I write the right number in my checkbook register? I know I wrote the check for 4180, but did I write 4180 in my checkbook? Sometimes you make a little mistake like that and it can throw off the whole thing. Check mark there. So that is my checks and deposits. That's everything that has actually cleared the bank as of 131. So notice so far that I have 3 other checks that are not listed on this account, and that just means that they have not been completely processed. They are still in my account, but I have to remember that they're there, and that's why we keep the checkbook register. Then we have other account activities. So this is going to be debit transactions or fees or charges. So first thing is to ticket forum, $40. Ticket forum, $40 is right there. Put another little check mark there to make sure I remember I've accounted for it. Hilltop Garage, 12024. That's this one. Check right there. Seasons Unlimited, 33.93. Right there and right there. And then there's a service charge. Now, a service charge is not something I wrote in my account. It's not something I previously knew about. So, first of all, I want to write that in my checkbook register. Anything that you see on the account statement that's not in your checkbook register, you need to make sure you write in there. So, that was on 131, and I can just call it service charge, and it is for $5. So we're assuming that this is a normal charge that your bank charges. Maybe they charge a monthly fee for this account type or something like that. And so maybe you would have just remembered that and you would have written it in there. The important thing is that you write it in there now. So minus $5. Whoops, not $500. Oh my gosh. Okay, finally got that to work, right? So $345.24 is my new balance. Whoops. Oh my goodness, I'm having so much trouble right now. So I'm going to go back to my check mark, and I got to make sure that I check that one as well because it is on the account statement, and that just makes sure. So double check that I have all check marks here, and it's okay that I have some not up here. For now, we're going to get to that. All right, so looking back at my account reconciliation, now I'm looking again for deposits not in statement. So I can easily tell by looking through the deposits column and seeing anything like this one right here that does not have a check mark next to it. That's what I'm looking for. So 692.37 is how much that was for. That was on what date was that? The 131. 692.37, something like that, right? Yes. And that's the only one. So I can go ahead and total this right here, 692.37. Bothers me when they're not lined up right. And then step 3, add item 1 to item 2. So here's item 1, here's item 2. I'm going to add those two together. 440.99 plus 692.37. Just trust the process for now. Don't worry about why we're adding these things together. 1133.36. Okay. Whoop, doesn't want to line that up. Okay. So far it's saying that based on what the bank knows was in my account, plus something that I know that I deposited, here's that current total. Doesn't mean anything really yet, but that's where we got that number. Then we are looking for outstanding checks, debits, and transfers. So pretty much anything that's coming out of our account that doesn't have a check mark. So we can look, here's a check, and here's a check. Those have not been accounted for. They don't have check marks next to them, so we have to put all of them down below. And I think it's asking for, yeah, the check number, the date, and the amount. So we have 102 on 19 for $24. I'm going to go ahead and fill this in. You can pause and come back with me. All right, so I've got those three checks here, the number, the date, and the amount. And now it wants me to total all of that together. So 24 plus 314, 12 plus 450, 788.12. So that goes here. There we go. Now subtract item 4 from item 3. So what's item 3? It's the 1133.36 minus item 4, 788.12. Oops, I think I forgot a decimal point. Minus 788.12. Okay, $345.24. Half the time I'm using a decimal point and half the time I'm not, so I got confused there. All right, so this should agree with your register. This is the total. It's saying these are the things we knew we had, or sorry, this is what we know we have in the account. This is what we additionally deposited. And then this is what we additionally removed from our account. So based on the account statement, what the bank knows has processed, plus what we know has also come in or come out of our account because of us keeping an accurate checkbook register, here is the amount that it should say right now on your checkbook register, 345.24. And if we scroll up here, we see it is 345.24. So that means that our checkbook is balanced, and that is the accurate amount that is in our checkbook, our checking account, ready and available for us to spend. So at this point, what I would do in my checkbook register is draw a line. I think that's this line tool. Yeah, I like the line tool. I would draw a line right underneath that amount, and that just indicates to me that, hey, from this point right here, everything is accurate. And so next month, whenever I would get a new account statement and I would go back and balance my checkbook again, I would not have to go backwards from that point. If there was any kind of a math error, I would know from this point it's accurate. And then hopefully on my next month's statement, these additional checks and deposits would show up, and then I could go back and I could place check marks in that column as well for those things, and then I would do all the process again.